Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. We're here today in Pennsylvania for the first ever Carlisle All GM Nationals. This will be the ultimate GM show, with General Motors celebrities, a special Yanko display, the unveiling of the 35th anniversary Camaro, and of course, as always, the Carlisle folks are giving away a car. Every GM mark will have its own spot to be proudly and independently displayed. And the GM Design Garage has opened up and brought some really tasty concept cars for us to drool over. Joining me now is Bill Miller, co-owner of Carlisle Events.
Welcome, Dennis. Nice to have you back to Carlisle again, especially to our first All GM Nationals.
Man, what a show. Now, you guys have been doing mark-specific shows for a while, the granddaddy of them all being Corvettes, and then, of course, you got a nice Ford show, a nice Chrysler show, but finally an All GM show.
After 27 years, we've been doing different shows all those different years. Everybody said to us, why don't you do a General Motors show? Well, guess what, Dennis? They talked us into it, and did they ever support us?
It's just amazing. Now, we're surrounded right now by Camaros, but I guess Camaro's the feature model this year, is that right?
That's correct. The Camaro Club of America has really been behind this event for a long time, trying to push us to do an all General Motors event, and they said, Bill, you do it, we're going to bring out the Camaros, and by darn, they sure did.
Yeah, I'm knee-deep in Camaros, but there's Buicks over there, and Pontiacs over there, and Oldsmobiles, I mean, Caddies, there's everything.
Absolutely, we've got support from every direction, and I'm sure you've seen the General Motors vehicles that are here. There's 36 General Motors archived vehicles, new vehicles, specialty manufactured vehicles. We've got just the storehouse came from General Motors.
It's sort of hard to miss it, but you really did get a lot of support from GM on this, baby,
Absolutely.
Didn't you? And the weather's fabulous. I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
We've hit the ultimate weekend.
You guys do it right.
Thank you.
Good first-time show. Now, what do you say we stroll around that car corral and see if we can find a car or two left for me?
There's still a car for Dennis, I'll guarantee.
All right, let's go.
The turnout at this first-time Carlisle All GM Nationals surprised me, and it surprised the Carlisle folks too. It just goes to show, you don't want to underestimate the GM fans. No matter what GM you fancy, this show had them.
Jack, 66 Toronado. First year for the car, right?
Correct.
This thing's just beautiful. I've always loved these. I mean, they're so big, but they still got good lines.
Yeah, they're a great car.
Now, why did you, why a Toronado?
We had these when I was driving to school. My mom always drove them. My dad raced them.
Your dad raced Toronados?
Yes.
Huh.
It was really different.
Maybe the first person I ever heard of that did that. But yeah, I mean, they're real cruisers, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's a great road car.
Well, what all features do you have on this?
I've got just about every option they put on it. Air conditioning, tilt and travel steering column, power windows, power seat, AM/FM radio, rear defroster, power antenna, power trunk.
Jeez, wild speedometer. What's that? The barrel? Or?
Barrel. It's
yeah?
real easy to read. It's real nice.
Around, huh?
It just rolls right around.
Now, how long have you had this? When'd you buy it?
1983.
And where'd you find it?
Here at Carlisle.
Here at Carlisle. You found it at Carlisle. But what power's the 66?
425.
Oh, 425. Wow.
Yep.
Nice job on the engine bay too.
Yeah. Looked a lot better 10 years ago, but
but you drive it, right?
all the time. I put 11,000 miles on since I restored it.
Well, maybe we take it out for a spin later.
Sure.
Maybe I could drive it.
Sure.
Oh, you're too easy.
GM showed up in a big way with a boatload of concept cars past and present. We caught up with John Moss, manager of GM's Special Vehicle Group. Now this is a guy who has a job that's even more fun than mine.
Well, I've been called the master of the toy closet and a myriad of different names, and we have established, quite frankly, a really fine collection of not only historic vehicles, but some of these rare concepts to some of the production-based concepts. It's kind of interesting to see, like the Cyclone over there. That hasn't been seen a lot in many, many years. And also you bring that out and everybody just like stops them in their tracks. They say, wow, where did you see that thing? You've never seen it before.
There was a cornucopia of cool cars and trucks at this event. Just look at this stunning Skylark.
This is a beautiful 53 Buick Skylark. This is really a landmark car.
It sure is. It was Buick's 50th anniversary car
Gorgeous. And you've had this for quite a while.
since 1964.
Wow. Now, they didn't make many of them, right?
No, 1,690 to be exact.
That's
And they were all convertibles.
Is that right? Well, you've done a beautiful job in the restoration of it.
Thank you.
Is it? I want to see the trunk. Now, this came with the wire wheels, right?
Exactly. They came with the wire wheels. Kelsey Hayes
Kelsey
made,
Hayes.
and tried to keep the original green on the spare. And
Well, there's a lot of interesting design features on this car that were very different. The high radius wheel well.
exactly, this was the only Buick in '53 that had it, and then in '54 they all had it. So everybody liked the design.
And it's also, I mean, it looks chopped.
It was chopped at the factory about 3 inches.
So it's a chopped. I mean, this thing was a rod coming off.
It was a custom coming off the line. If you'll notice, the rolled and pleated interior, some other things that a lot of the customizers had during the 50s.
Well, the interior is gorgeous. I mean, that's two-tone leather.
Two-tone leather. It came in 4 color combinations.
Now, this was the first year for the V8 too.
First year for the V8.
Let's look at it.
First year for the 12 volt. Notice the inside hood release,
Yes,
which has come back recently.
Wow, that must be an oil bath.
It's an oil bath air cleaner, 322 cubic inches, 188 horsepower.
It's a beautiful car. Close her up. Maybe we'll take it out.
That sounds good.
Over the last several years, we've heard rumors about a neat car collection in Ocala, Florida, owned by Jim and Rick Schmitt of National Parts Depot. These guys eat, sleep, and live the collector car hobby, and the rumors did not prepare us for their breathtaking collection.
Jim, this is fantastic. How many cars do you have in here?
There are 130 spread out in the room.
Man, and everything from brass era, like a 1911 white. I love the color, kind of the great pumpkin there.
Right.
Some 1930 Lincolns here.
Yes, that's a 30L series Sport Phaeton.
That's restored green. I love. I'm a sucker for green cars. But that one's restored. These are originals, right?
Yes, these are also 30L series. It's important that we see how men did things back then as they did it.
And a huge portion of your collection, though, is unrestored. How much?
Oh, 3/4 is unrestored.
I mean, that's unheard of. This is a big collection to have that many cars in original condition.
Well, we've made a conscious attempt. It's a good reference point
Oh,
for
I'll say,
us.
oh, now there's one I've always liked. The Packard here, 56 Packard. I tend to think of this as a Caribbean, but this is the 400, right?
Yes, very similar to the Caribbean. Has different exterior chrome treatments, but essentially the same car.
I always thought of the color scheme of these as good and plenty candy. It's
Right. They're beautiful, outrageous even.
boy, and sitting right next to it is another extremely rare car. It's a Mark II in a color that I've never seen.
Well, that is William Clay Ford's personal color, Honolulu blue, with blue and silver interior.
Looks like the Detroit Lions.
It sure does. He owns the team.
So I guess he can have the car that way too.
Right.
So it was his personal car. Now,
Yes.
You were saying that this, now these were powered by originally a 368 V8, great engine, but this
Yes.
one's been modified?
This one in the winter of '68 was modified in engineering with a new 460 and a C6 and disc brakes and other modern refinements, and then Mr. Ford continued to drive it for many years after. These are important to our family. That was the first really sharp car we had.
Really sharp indeed. Now this is also a milestone car, isn't it?
Yes, this is the actual 50 millionth Chevrolet produced and was driven off the line with great ceremony by Nelson Rockefeller back in '63, given to him for a short time.
So he was cruising around in this?
Yes, for just a few days, and then it went back to General Motors.
How many miles on this car?
Well, when I received it 10 years ago, it had 92 miles. It's approaching 100 now.
Unbelievable. You got T-Birds over here. You've got a 64 Continental there with the electric shaver grille.
Yes, yeah, those are a classic.
Now these are a couple original Fords,
Those are two new 500 XL Fords.
never driven.
Never driven.
Oh, now there's one I've always liked. That's a unique one.
The Boat Tail Riviera.
The Boat Tail Riv. Now that was certainly a fairly radical styling exercise.
For the time, it truly was. Well, other cars were very conservative. The Riviera broke ground.
Gosh, you know, the boat tail back, the louvered trunk I think was 71 only. And then they closed those up because they made these, what, 3 years, I think, 1, 2, and 3.
And the lines of the car truly are a styling statement.
Well, they are, and there's certain things that are so Buick, you know, like the big radius rear fender wells, like the old 53 Skylark, you know. Let's look at those wheels.
Right, and elegant wheels to look at too.
Beautiful car, and the interior is stunning too. I mean, it's just different all around. There's got to be something here that we could maybe take out and cruise around in. I mean, something that's got more than 92 miles on it. Or...
Oh yes, there's a 56 Cadillac down there
I've
that
always
is
liked one of those.
ready to go.
Well, let's go check it out. Ooh, 56 Caddy Coupe DeVille, very nice.
And it's green
Oh,
too.
it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah. It's my son Rick.
Hi, how you doing?
Nice
Dennis?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So this is a car we're taking out cruising?
Mm-hmm, this is, and you're going to be driving.
Ooh.
I've driven everything in here already, so no
Seriously?
point in me hogging the driver's seat. There's the original key fob. It's got 14,500 original miles on it, so I hope it's not too worn out for you.
That's just broken in. You come with us?
I am going to enjoy watching.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy driving. Let's go.
Let's go.
Beautiful car. Oh, and the fit.
It's not every day a person gets to drive a 1956 Cadillac, and certainly not an unrestored original Caddy with only 14,000 miles on it.
Rick, this is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't this a great car?
Oh.
I love these old 50s Cadillacs. When you're a kid growing up, when I was in grade school, all you thought about was the muscle cars, but you have to just go out in one of these old Cadillacs and cruise around to really.
Well, it's addicting. It really is. And
it's an entirely different experience. Everything on this car runs and drives right. So often on these old hydromatic transmissions that I get in them, and nobody has the right tools to adjust the sequencing of the gears properly, and the cars just never seem to shift right.
This shifts beautifully.
Well, you're on factory settings because this transmission's never been out of the car.
Unbelievable. Oh, Rick, what an experience. I love this car. Thanks for letting me drive
It's
it.
been my pleasure. It's been my
Wonderful.
pleasure. We've still got a quarter tank of gas left. Let's use it up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm in heaven. Caddy heaven.